creative living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Sheryl Borden.
Thanks so much for joining me today for Creative Living. We're going to learn what role metabolism plays in fitness and show how to do kitty sock crafting, which started many, many years ago. One of my guests is Kate McKay, and she's an author and fitness guru. Kate's going to talk about the role metabolism plays in fitness. Metabolism is the process by which food is broken down and converted into energy, which fuels your body right down to the cellular level. Often people who excessively diet can sabotage their metabolism. However, the truth is that very few people genetically have slow metabolism. You can speed up your metabolism by putting Kate's healthy habits into practice. She lives in Newburyport, Massachusetts. My first guest is Deborah Quartermain, and she's a designer and crafter. Deborah's going to demonstrate kitty sock crafting, which is a takeoff from years ago when making sock monkeys was so popular. This is an easy and fun craft that children will especially enjoy doing. Her business is Deborah Quartermain Design, and she lives in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Deborah, thank you so much for coming today. And when you said we were going to do sock monkeys, I thought, I remember that. I think everybody had a sock monkey 20 years ago, but I didn't know they were even still popular.
They've actually had really resurfaced as extremely popular, and the Fox River, iconic red heel sock has been around, and actually with every pair of socks that they sell now, there is a pattern on how to make a sock monkey. But if you've seen some of the magazines, they've got sock monkey hats, and they're done in all kinds of different colors. And now they come in pinks and blues, still with the traditional, the red heel, which makes the very expressive smiles.
This is the original Mr. Sock Monkey?
Yes. And that's when I've created.
That's what we remember, the heel.
And there's some great new patterns out too that make it a little bit easier. There's a new DVD by When Creativity Knocks, and they've got some great tips for making it even easier. And so then I got the pink socks, because pink is one of my favorite colors.
Right, mine too.
Yes, and so you can get it, this great, yes, he's had a long trip apparently, yes. So this is the little sock kitty. It's done pretty similar, but I've added the paw features and, of course, the whiskers. And by creating a different kind of ear and raising it, you can make it turns into a kitty cat. And it's basically done the same.
Tell about the little decoration.
Oh,
that
yes,
is
and
so
these
cute.
are, the duct tape company has such fun duct tapes. And since I was making a kitty, and I was putting her in a kitchen apron, I thought, well, she should have something that you can wash off. So I just made the little ruffled apron from using duct tape with fabric. They have such great colors in them now. So.
And this one's different.
Yes, well, I thought this would be a great thing to demo. Is everyone's got water bottles, and so this is so easy. You can just use one sock, so you can make a pair of them, and this just fits. And if your water's really cold, it helps keep it a little colder, but if it's really cold, you've got something to hang on to. And it's also just a great fun piece. You show up with this, and it can fit all kinds of water bottles.
Conversation piece.
Especially for the kids. And then you could put initials on the collar, and so they'll know that it's theirs. And
keep up with their water bottle
exactly.
That way. And you said you can make 2 of these out of one sock.
Yes, because out of one pair.
Out of one pair, rather.
So, and
this is so fun.
Oh, and then I just did some fun little mittens. So.
These would certainly be a conversation piece when you wear
and the
these.
red heel makes such a cute muzzle. So that's all that is. It's just stuffed a bit. Yeah.
Okay, show us how we get started.
Sure.
And I didn't realize that the pattern comes with each pair of socks.
Yeah,
That's
with
great.
the sock monkey. And now, so I just did my own kind of new design of this little bottle holder. So what you do is you take your sock and you turn it inside out. And you just lay it flat like this. So you can see this is the bottom. And all you do is, this is half
cat head.
Half a circle, and it's going to go like this. So then you have an invisible marker, and all you have to do is
slightly trace around it.
And then you just continue. Your ears will fit on the folds.
Oh, so what you're doing is using this to cut out the pattern pieces.
Exactly, and the tail goes here.
Oh, so that it has the white on the tip.
Exactly.
I see.
So that's all you do. And I have one. Now with this one, you do need a sewing machine. And all you do is, once you've drawn it all out, but there's
That's
not a
this,
lot of sewing. And you can see with the marker, and what you do is gives you a good line to sew on. So all you're going to do is just sew right across each line. Now what you also want to do is, you see how I've got all the pins. It's important to pin it before you sew, because you want it not to have the sock move at all.
I see.
And then you just sew around the lines, and then you're going to cut it out. And everything, these pieces are all on the fold, so you can see there's very little sewing to actually do.
And it's all straight stitch.
Exactly.
And every machine
so it's
does
very,
that.
very simple. So once you do that, I usually like to use like a little small pair, and then I will cut very carefully.
Just about 1/8 of an
Yes.
inch out.
Yeah. And sometimes I try and do even a little more, and that's all you're going to do.
And
Exactly. So you just do, so that's all. You do that for
cut each out.
each piece. And then, of course, the fun part is once you turn it. When you turn it right side out, here's your...
Because we cut off that.
Exactly.
I
and
see.
so the tail, which I turned and stuffed.
Just a polyfill of
Yes,
some
a
sort?
great,
just to
yes, I've got a
stuff in?
great little polyfill here, really soft.
Yeah,
And then the ears, this is what...
because we cut those out
right,
earlier.
Right, and then what you're going to do with the ears, I've covered over my scissors, here we go, is you just cut a little, the least amount of cutting of raw edge you can do makes every project simpler. So I just cut a little hole, it stretches a bit, and then you just turn the ear.
Oh, you're going to turn it right side out.
Yeah, and you can kind of poke out your little tip, so he has a cute little ear. Yeah, so that's all we're going to do. And then you just take a little ball of stuffing. And again, I like to use, with any project, especially the hand sewing, I always use upholstery thread. It never breaks, and you can pull on it really tightly, and so it's not you've sewn around something and then it breaks. And I take like a nice ball of the stuffing, and then you just go in to do his head, like so.
Yeah, you can get your hand all the
Yeah,
way
and
in
as soon
there.
as you do that, all of a sudden you're getting a shape.
It comes to life.
Exactly, and you're just going to do that, and then bring your hand out.
It makes the neck.
Yeah, and you've got also this muzzle. Now you can see it's all to do, this is kind of soft sculpture, so with the little bit of sculpting, even with the eyes, that's what creates the indent, because right now he looks a little bit odd, like this. So then you do that, and I just sew around
The neck.
Yes, I've done this one here, you
so,
can see.
yeah.
You just sew around the neck with the upholstery thread.
Okay.
And then your tail, you sew around the same way. Gather it, you just turn it in like this, and you just sew around like that. And then you pull it tight.
Right.
So then that's your next piece. And then the ears, you sew across.
And you don't stuff them at all?
No, because there's two layers and the seam, it makes it quite sturdy. And then I just pull my little stitches tight to give the ear shape, like so. There we go. Okay, so then now you have your ears.
Your 2 ears.
Yeah, and your tail's all ready to go. And now I cut from felt all the other little pieces. You have the heart, and they have a collar, and we do his little nose out of pink felt.
Oh,
Okay, and I've embroidered it on, but you could also glue it on.
You could,
And then I just do a little stitch line. So this is one of those projects, if you want to do a little less sewing, you can, but the little stitches are just in and out straight stitch.
Oh, and the whiskers.
Yes, and the
Is that
whiskers.
embroidery floss? or
Yes,
what?
I'm using floss for the nose and the mouth, and then when you do the eyes, you just anchor your thread at the back.
Where the knot won't show.
Yes, and you can barely even see where mine is. And then you can also put a collar on to hide it. So that's part of the collar
Right.
makes, and then you come through to the front of the face. And this is where, because you can see, this is still looking a little odd. So once you do this, you take a really big stitch up to about his nose. Now you could use wiggly eyes or something, but a lot of cats look like they're smiling when their eyes are closed. So, and then you just come through the back. And now when you pull, like this.
Oh, that's causes
so
that
you want to make
sculpture
your
to take.
stitch quite large, because when you pull it, it's going to go a little smaller.
I see. They're about half
So then
inch.
when you do the next one, you just come up the same place. Exactly. Right along the muzzle line. And then you're going to do the
Yeah,
same.
with the socks being colored like that, it's almost like a coloring within the lines. It tells you almost
well, that's
where
what
to
makes
do
it,
things.
and the same as with the mouth. So all of a sudden now you have your
Eyes.
shape. And you just anchor your thread a little bit here.
Now, would you go ahead and do the whiskers at the
Yes,
same
what
time?
I would do to keep your eye shape is you just anchor a little bit back here to hold it, a couple of stitches, and then all you come is back through for your whiskers, and you can put as many as you want. So I'm going to come through his face.
And is that
like
a little
so.
French knot or something?
Yes, I
or-
just do a little French knot, which is 2
always
loops.
liked doing those when
Yes.
I learned to embroider.
And then you just go out
For the
very
second
close to
one.
it. So exactly like that. And then you can just cut about there, like that. And you can even separate them.
Oh,
And then what I would do is do the same thing for the other side, or I can even go through like this and make a couple more and go like this.
Yeah, because the thread won't
Exactly.
the knot won't be
Yeah,
showing.
and then you just make your knot. I can make a knot at this end, and this one isn't going to come out. So.
Well, once you do a couple of these, are really fast, aren't
Well,
they?
exactly, and that's why it's fun, because you can get 2 of them out of a pair of socks. So this is why I thought it's a fun project, and then it's great for the kids to
And
have
then
this
you
cute
just
little
hand sew on the tail at the last.
Yeah, and the ears hand sewed on,
Uh-huh.
and the tail just goes here, and you just hand sew
So
on.
there's no stuffing for the
No,
bottom part of
no.
it. Make a little
and
necklace.
do your hearts. If you want to do a little heart on the front, or you could even put a real little collar on it, and then the collar just goes around the neck. And you
Use
just
some
sew it at the back.
rhinestones. I can just
Oh, you
imagine
could
all those
just-
leftover
You could
things I
embellish
have.
them up. You could make a little hat or put a scarf on in the winter. And it's a fun thing. The kids are going to be less likely to forget their water bottle, and it'll also fit over, one of the cute little kid water bottles that they have now, or even an adult. I mean, you're not going to miss this little kitty, and then it sits there just making you smile while you have it at home too. So it's a
Okay.
really fun project.
Well, boy, the old sock monkey has certainly come a long
Yes,
way
he
since
has.
his beginning.
Yes, and there's a blue shade as well, which is really fun. You could do like a polar bear or all kinds of creatures, or do boy and girl, sets of sock monkeys or cats, or the elephant's cute too, just by adapting the pattern pieces. So
Well, I surely do appreciate you being here and
Oh, it's my
sharing this with
pleasure.
us. I'm happy to see that he's back.
he sure is, and I think he's back to stay for sure. So.
Kate, thank you so much for being here. And when I first received your book and it's Living Sexy Fit, I thought, oh, it's going to be all about exercise. And there is plenty in there about exercise, but as I was telling you, that's not my forte. But I've studied nutrition. I do know somewhat about that. And I love the fact that you said nutrition, not exercise, is 70% of the game.
Right, correct. A lot of people think that if I just get on the treadmill, I can still eat my fast food, right? So really what it is, the statistics are 70% nutrition. Right? A lot of people have a lot of trouble hearing that fact because it really means, wow, I have to make a lifestyle change to put that eating at the center of the equation, which is fuel for the body, which is the way we up-level our lives. You will be amazed, and I can hear the stories upon stories from my clients of how it shifted and changed their energy level, particularly with that 3 o'clock crash when we want to grab a Snickers and a cup of coffee. So fueling your body at regular intervals and understanding really it is 70% nutrition, 20% exercise.
What's the other
and
10%?
And 10% is genetics, right? All I'm going to give you is 10% genetics. So, people want to say, well, I'm just big boned or whatever, right? Beauty and living sexy fit comes in all shapes and sizes. So how do we celebrate uniquely who we are, right? Beauty, fitness, it looks different for everybody. So how do we embrace who that is for us and then live into that? And I think that's the most important thing. It is not a one size fits all. It's just not.
And that's good. I think that's
is good.
encouraging rather
I
than
think so, too.
discouraging. And you talk about the 80-20 rule. I always thought it was the 80% means you just show up, and 20% mean you do
the hard
something.
work,
Yeah.
right. Well, 80% eating clean. Like, for example, we look at this beautiful, I'm hungry just looking at it. So we have some chicken, green beans, and sweet potatoes, which are amazing fuel for the body. Sweet potatoes, a low glycemic, Our body breaks that down nice and slow. It keeps everything happening. That's why sweet potatoes are so amazing and why they're actually better than white potatoes.
So white potatoes would be a high glycemic.
They would be higher, right? So the sweet potato is, your body burns that down nice and slow. It keeps the energy level and the insulin level, as we've talked about before, at a nice level. Eating a complex carb, such as the sweet potato with these gorgeous green beans, and that chicken right there. I don't eat red meat. I haven't eaten red meat since I'm 15. But the biggest shift in my diet was increasing my protein. And that certainly I've seen that with my clients, that the biggest shift has been, oh, I don't know, that looks like so much food. Your body grows accustomed and becomes very happy, and you will have that lean and hot physique that you desire with the regular fueling of the body.
And you talk about we should eat like the 5 meals a day.
Right, and that's hard for some people. Oh, this is the deal. If you make one shift and change, I'm gonna give you one micro step. Increase your water consumption.
Oh, I know.
I know, it's so hard because especially when it's colder, a lot of people move away from that. But believe it or not, as a fitness competitor and bikini competitor, I drink 1.25 gallons a day before my, in my training times. That seems like a lot of fluid.
Seems like,
Your body gets adjusted. Believe it or not, people say, I feel so bloated when I drink water, but what happens is your body grows accustomed. We eat food that is, has a lot of toxins. So the water is so crucial because it flushes our system, flushes out the toxins, flushes out our organs, our kidneys, our skin, and gives us not only more beautiful skin, but a healthier flow. You'll feel better, your energy will be level. Oftentimes when people are fatigued, they're dehydrated. It's the truth. Yep.
Well, and we talked about serving sizes, and that some people might think that looks like way too much chicken to be eating. You actually use a scale.
Well, this is the particular, this is particularly important. So this is a scale that I use just to measure my food. I do this at the beginning when I'm working with clients because I am a business coach, but I also have fitness as a piece because I think it's important. If I want people to really up level as a coach, I make sure that the fitness is part of the equation. So that's just me. So I weigh it because this is the truth, right? That looks like a lot of chicken, and that's how what you remark, whoa, that's a lot, right? But if you see that it's in the 4 to 6 range of ounces, that's really where you want to play. And this particularly is important when I'm leaving for the day or when I'm traveling. I portion my foods out before I go. Yeah.
Let's talk about when you have to pack things to take with you.
Right. So this is really my cooler. I brought it from home, and the reason why I bring this is because these are the different containers that I use. I use all different sizes, and this.
Oh yeah,
what do
water.
we bring? Always and forever, right? And on the bottom here I have a really yummy tidbit, which is some almonds, because almonds are, we talked a little bit about this as well. These are a magical food. Again, we talk about the healthy fat that fuels and is a great replacement for a bag of chips. Oftentimes that's what people, when they're hungry,
Just
they'll
grab.
eat chips, or the carbohydrates instantly give you a lift to your insulin, but then you crash and burn, and then you'll crave more carbs. So let's break that carb cycle with a healthy fat. This is the way to go.
And it's not any nut.
No,
It's
almonds in particular
are
the magical
one.
food, right? And sometimes I'll mix these, I'm just gonna be honest because I have a sweet tooth. I'll mix them with the gluten-free chocolate chips that are gluten and dairy-free, and they're yummy. So I'll put just a couple of those in because again, life is about celebration. Diet is a 4-letter word that really gives people a lot of anxiety.
It
so
does.
how do we talk about clean eating and the 80-20 rule so we fuel our body with that good stuff and then still live in celebration? Because let's be truthful. Eating is a celebration. It's how we share time. It's how we share love. As a mom, it's how we show our love and nurturing our children. I still insist that my kids have hot meals when they get home, after they get home from school. It's just who I am as a mom. So it's really important. I think that's an important lesson, don't you think?
Well, I think
Living
so.
in celebration.
And again, it is all a habit. We've maybe grown up when frying everything was the way to cook, and so it's hard. You've got to make those changes.
Right.
What would you suggest would be maybe 5 meals, meals a day, because we're talking about eating 5 times a day, not just one. What would you maybe give some examples?
Let's just say, for example, if we're eating, and I would recommend talking to your doctor or nutritionist, and obviously you study nutrition, but really understanding what your calorie needs are, and really figure out how much. Right. So what is a calorie? But how many calories you need to fuel your body in a day, right? So if it's 1,500, if it's 1,800, you're going to divide that by 5 meals.
Oh,
so that may be 300 calories, that may be 350, that may be 500, right? Because some people have more jacked up metabolism.
Or you might get
example,
more in one of your 3 main meals and less in your snacks.
I love that, right? So a little bit of almonds and a green apple would be a lovely snack. So this is the truth every day. And I was talking about the 2 shifts and changes that you could make, or what I usually tell people when I first meet them. Increase your water consumption, 64 ounces at minimum. And really what you should be drinking is your body weight in ounces of water. But if you can get 50% of that in water, oh, it's a huge success story, and I'm like cheering you on. So
now, does that count water that you've used to make coffee,
sure.
water you've used to make tea?
Correct.
Or...
Just yes, exactly right. Some people flavor them with lemon and you know, herbal teas, green teas, right? Whatever way you can get that water, that beverage down. And another tip is room temperature water is easier to drink than cold water.
I think so too.
So right. So yeah, that's just one thing. And the other thing is, and we're talking about referring back to the 5 meals, is having eggs and oatmeal every day. Every morning, that's what I have is eggs and oatmeal. And I had that today in my hotel
And that
room.
sounds like an awful lot to eat.
Right. And even if you just start with the eggs, like the protein is the magic. If you can get that protein in, and again, I'm not a meat eater, but I'm still find the way to get that protein in, because honestly, the shift that I felt in my energy and how lean my body became with that added protein was really amazing. And the lack of bloating. See, this is the ticket too, is you become so much less bloated, right, with the increased in water and less junky carbs, because you have less cravings.
So why is oatmeal good for us?
Oatmeal is, again, another one of those low glycemic, slow burn foods that, you know, learn to love it, right? So I put a little bit of coconut oil. Again, coconut oil, it's magical, magical food. I put that in my oatmeal in the morning as well. So I have that healthy fat, and then the low glycemic, and then the eggs, which is the purest protein of them all. So egg whites.
And certainly easy for anyone to do. It's not like we have to prepare for 2 or 3 days to prepare enough food for our meals.
Right.
And then maybe our snack could be those magic almonds.
Correct.
And like you said, an apple or something to go with it. And you say that you don't eat meat.
Right,
But
red meat.
Red meat. Okay, so that fish and chicken would be turkey.
Ground turkey. What I do is I often take
ground turkey.
Oh, good, fantastic. So taking a big 1 to 2 pounds of ground turkey, and I just throw everything but the kitchen sink in there with all the vegetables, and I'll serve that over brown rice and greens. Yummy. And again, with a healthy fat salad dressing, no fat-free, because fat-frees tend to have high sugar. So being aware of how much sugar is in all of your foods is an important thing.
I guess I better go check the refrigerator.
Right. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. What's another snack idea?
So I have almond butter on a rice cake, which is also really delicious. And again, I talk about those fat-free chocolate chips mixed in with my almonds is also really good. Again, I don't eat much fruit, so I'll have a 1/4 cup of blueberries mixed with maybe some non-sugared yogurt with maybe a little bit of maple syrup. I'm a maple syrup because I'm from New England, so I love real maple syrup. So again, I get my little sweets in ways that are healthy but aren't processed. And that's the important thing, is you're worthy of fueling your body with good food. And you know, having 3 kids and being a single mom, of course, I can't buy everything that's organic, but you know, eating as clean as you can and as close to as simple to the, what I'm most surprised about is when I make food and people come over, they're like, oh my gosh, this tastes so good.
And
it's
they probably
simpler, the
thought you
better.
were gonna just
make them
starve
starving.
them.
No, you should see how much I feed people. When they come over, they're like, oh my God, eat, you know. But I love to feed. That is who I am. I'm a nurturer. I love to you know, give people food, and creating healthy desserts too by adding coconut oil, substituting coconut oil.
I'm going to try
for
the coconut
lard.
oil.
I make
I've
them
not
on my chocolate
experiment-
chip cookies. I'm going to leave you my coconut oil.
Oh, good. Well, I can't wait to try it. And I think we could almost summarize this whole segment by saying it's all about portion control.
It is moderation.
Moderation.
Right? And that word, you know, may give you the heebie-jeebies, right? But really tune in, tap into what it feels like to savor your meals and set a beautiful place for yourself. I think that's most important. So many of us eat off paper plates at the counter. Set a
Walking
place.
by, doing 3 other things.
I light a candle for my children so that they are in the right space. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of the peace, of the nurture and the food that we can provide ourselves and your family. Just really
Well, you're
cool.
very encouraging, and I think that's what I gathered in the book as I read through it. I thought, she really believes this. She really wants everybody who's reading this book or listening to you talk to believe that and to believe in themselves.
It's the most important thing ever. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much once again for being with us today. I appreciate it.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn how to paint papier-mâché creations, demonstrate how easy it is to cook a turkey, and find out how to reduce allergens in our homes. One of my guests on the next show has a unique line of animal caricatures that she's made from papier-mâché, and she's going to talk about the process of making and shaping the animals and then demonstrate how to paint these adorable creations. Another guest is a spokesperson and home economist for Butterball, and she's going to do a demonstration called Turkey 101, which teaches new cooks simple recipes, entertaining ideas, and cooking tips to help them become more confident when cooking. Did you know you may be sleeping with over 2 million dust mites in your bed every night? Another guest on the next show will feature some products on the market that help reduce allergens in the home. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We are very pleased to offer a special booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. We are celebrating our 40th year on PBS. This booklet is titled the 40th Anniversary Series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information, and it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. For your copy of this commemorative booklet, go to our website at kenw.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on this booklet or on any of the other booklets we have available online. We would like to invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter too. Go to kenw.org and click on the Sign Up Now button and input your email address. That's all there is to it. We would also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Go to facebook.com and in the search window type in Creative Living with Sheryl Borden. Thanks so much. We look forward to hearing from you.